Good morning, you guys. It is a beautiful fall morning here, and it's also October, which means it is time to have a look at how our garden is doing. So if you're new here, this garden, we are in zone 5A. This is the first year we've had the garden set up. It has done incredibly well. We've had failures, but it's done really well overall. So much better than the one we tried last year. This is what it's looking like. Let's turn the camera around and give you a really good look at it. So here's an overview of the garden. You can see we still have these sitting here. We are starting later today to change the garden up. I'm going to be emptying some of the things out. You can hear my chickens making noise over there. So let's start over here. The lavender, it flowered a little bit, but we have had frost. September 25th is the date that we were kind of traditionally the first frost day, and it was within 1 day. The tomato plants are empty. They were dead. So we took the green tomatoes that were still on them and put them inside, and they're ripening slowly. So these are gone. You can see last year's raspberry, or this year's I guess, and then there's the new growth for next year. This lettuce, like I swear it hasn't grown at all. It just did not do well up here. The bee balm, it's slowly growing, but yeah, it never flowered. I planted it too late. The lemongrass is doing pretty good, but it is starting to die too. We need to bring it inside for the year. So let's go down to the main garden and have a look down there. So if you've watched my last videos, you can see it looks quite different. Lots of the flowers are knocked down. Surprisingly, some are doing really well though. We did have the remnants of Hurricane Lee come through. It was a tropical storm here. So a lot of things did get knocked down. We also had quite a bit of rain again, and things got knocked down. Some of the flowers are really flourishing though, which is interesting. So right here, we've got our carrots. We're slowly eating them. They've grown pretty well. I'm not worried about there being frost with them, so just slowly eating them. Our bush beans, I took them out, as well as our pole beans. I actually have this waiting to be moved. They produced, especially the pole beans, so much. We have tons of green beans, which is fantastic. So those beds are completely empty. The spinach that I had replanted is growing very slowly, and it's getting eaten because it's not covered. So I don't know if we'll actually get to eat any of it. The baby bok choy, some of it's growing okay, but it's really been eaten too. I think when I move things today, I will go through everything, take off anything I find, and then go ahead and cover it to try and get some of this so we can eat it. And look, one little pea, one little pea shoot came back up here from where the peas had been. The corn, it's all gone. It really did not grow this year. I think I talked about that last time. The cabbage, I'm going to harvest these today. There's just a couple left, but oh, so you can see there's a slugger snail in there. They got in. These two, we had harvested them, and there were just that new regrowth coming. They totally got decimated by caterpillars. They managed to get in under the net, so I had to pull those out. So I'm going to harvest whatever I can and pull everything else out before it gets completely eaten. Over here, we have a couple onions left. They're still growing. So just a few. These are green onions. Green onions. These are garlic chives, which are delicious. Green onions. So yeah, we're going to have to work on figuring something better out for onions next year. But there's a couple growing. The beets, I'm going to pull some of these out for dinner tonight, and then I'm going to probably do some more canning. These ones, I don't think I'll grow them next year. These are the bolder ones. They're really slow growing. They're small. They're interesting, but nothing special. The cylindra ones were fantastic. I like these the most, so I'm probably going to grow those next year. And then there's, which are early. I think these are the jumbo ones, and these are the early crop. Yeah, so I don't know if I'd say they're jumbo. I didn't grow that way this year. The early crop actually looks bigger. We'll see. So just slowly finishing this up. Gonna pull the kale out today. Unfortunately, there is a hole in the net, and so you can see that caterpillars and such have gotten in and they're eating it. So time to take what we want from this and get rid of the rest. The lettuce, we've been eating some, but it really didn't grow very much. Just open this up. I don't know. Lettuce just really struggled this year, and then of course you can see it got too cold for it and some died. The beets, I had a second planting over here. There's still some, so we'll just leave them. They're pretty tiny. I'll probably just leave those in there. But yeah, look at these flowers. Like, some of them, they seem to like this cooler weather. Look at that. Still blossoming. The sunflowers are all pretty much dead though. Our chickens have been enjoying those. What are they called? And that's marigolds. They are nasturtiums. They've really enjoyed this weather too down there. They're along here in a few spots. Cucumbers are all gone. They did amazingly well. I'll only plant, I think, 2 of the varieties. I have to figure out which 2 it was. One was definitely the, I think it was, yeah, Summer Dance and the English Telegraph, that's what they're called. They did so well, but we definitely want to trellis them next year. Zucchini, there's just a few left. They kind of took off again for a little while, and then they've slowed down again. So as the plants are not producing, I'm taking them out. So this one probably won't produce again. Oh, maybe I'll leave it and see. We collected our squash, and I was so happy with the butternut squash we got this year. I did leave 2 butternut squash out here before the frost just to see how they would do, plus some of the other ones. The biggest, beautifulest butternut squash that was here did not survive the frost, and it rotted. So then I decided to pull everything else in. So these plants are going to get pulled out today. There's nothing left on them. They are still flowering, which is pretty amazing, but yeah, there'll be nothing, no time to grow. Same with the pumpkins. I pulled all of them in yesterday except for one that was pretty small, just because you can see the plants definitely have some frost damage and they're starting to die. Where's the little one I left? All over here. So I'll leave that one plant and just see how it does. But all this is going to get pulled out. You see the sunflowers here? Look at the bees. Just hanging out here. I'm not quite sure why. I've been doing that a lot overnight. But yeah, we'll continue harvesting these and giving the seeds to our chickens. You can see how much they've fallen over though. Same here. Oh dear, it's completely fallen over. But the flowers are still doing well. So let's go have a look over here. So strawberries are still kind of doing their thing. I'm just leaving them. I will cover them with hay just to try and get them to survive the winter. I am hoping to move this bin this way if possible. We shall see what happens. As well as this one. Cilantro, we still have some growing here. The chives, just being chives, have taken over. Rhubarb, I don't know what happened. A lot of it died, but then it regrew, so not sure. Cilantro's gone to seed there. And our greenhouse, so it's looking pretty empty. I've taken a number of things out. I did severely cut back the tomatoes again because I wanted the energy put into turning the tomatoes ripe. So let's see, it's just under 10 degrees right now. So normally I wouldn't open this up this early. Somebody did it for me this morning, which was nice, but a little too early. So there is still some okra growing. I picked one yesterday. It's been kind of random. We have some peppers still growing, so I'm just leaving them for now. Seeing how long they can grow in here for. Let's see. Oh yeah, look. Slugs. I don't want those in here. It is still extremely muddy in here. We are going to try and fix that for this year, or for next year. Tomatillos, they're still growing so well. Look, there's some more I need to come and pick here. But yeah, that's been a surprising growth. Our ghost peppers never grew. Took those out. I think we took the jalapeno off there. There's just a couple jalapenos left. We took the last habanero yesterday. The candlelight have been doing really well. I really like these candlelight peppers. They're hot, but not hot that they bother me. They're just a nice flavor. Peppercini, I won't grow again. We got some, but very late. It just wasn't worth it. So the tomatoes, once they turn kind of like this, I've been pulling them in because sometimes they do fall off. But we're just leaving these to have the rest of them ripen. I need to go around and decide what tomatoes will grow next year, because I know like the Heinz was a really good producer, but they're still very green. These ones have grown a lot. What are these ones? Try not to slip in the mud here. San Marzano. They're again very later, but there's lots of them. So we gotta kind of go around and decide what the plan will be for next year, which ones we're gonna keep. I know that the orange watermelon, it never grew despite hand pollinating lots of times, so I wouldn't grow that again. We did eat our cantaloupe and 2 of the watermelon that we got, which was great. They were delicious. But that's our garden. That's what it's looking like. So hopefully I'll do at least one more in November, a video for you guys where you can see some of the changes we've made, because we're trying to have as much set up before winter hits so that next spring it's all ready to go. And it's really exciting, so I'm excited to share that with you. So thanks for having a look at my garden with me. I hope you have enjoyed the video, and as always, I hope you have a great day. Take care.